I'd like to introduce Lee Jimenez. He is a third grade teacher at Indian Hill Elementary. This is his second year with us, but he actually has been a teacher for 15 years. Welcome, Lee.
Thanks for having me.
So Lee might seem familiar because he has been highlighted not only on local news, but on national news. So, and it's all been about economics within the classroom. Lee, economics in a third grade classroom? Tell us more.
Definitely. I have to tell you right now, with third graders, they come in brand new, fresh with ideas. They're ready to be innovators. I'm so lucky to be with these 20 third graders, and I just feel like a guide, and I'm just there with their journey, helping them to the finish line. And the best part is that their fresh ideas, they don't have boundaries, and they're able to go anywhere with these boundaries and just, take you anywhere on the economy ride. So I love it.
So I want to hear a little bit more, because when I think about economics, I think about memorizing economic terms, and I am betting it doesn't look like that at all in your classroom.
Definitely not. One of the things I like to pride myself in is that we do problem-based learning, and this whole unit is actually a great simulation, and the students get to create their own business, and so I take them on that adventure, and I'm just there with them, and I think about like every day as like a possibility to build upon the day before, and we like to start always with a prompt, and it's usually about a business problem. And in small groups and sometimes individually, they're able to create a real life solution for these problems. And then we have a classroom discussion, and we actually based on like, was that good? Would it actually work? And could it actually, really happen? And so after that, then the students will take that knowledge, that new vocabulary and that new meaning, and apply it to their own business. And then they have to journal. And then again, they have to peer review each other's work and ask questions, and then actually think like on the merit, like, will this work actually in real life? And so they're actually experiencing it as if they would as an adult.
One of the things that you've just mentioned that I'm so impressed with is how it's combined with other subject areas. So it's not only economics, it's math, and it's writing, and it's reasoning, and it's geography. It's all of those things in once. So I've had a chance to get to know you a little bit, and I know that as a teacher, you have to be skilled and passionate about a lot of different subject areas, but not every teacher thinks about the world of economics. How did this ever become an interest for you as a third grade teacher?
So about 10 years ago, we started teaching economics, and I was lucky enough to have a great team, and we looked at how do we make this relatable to kids? How do we make this interesting? And how do we pull the best out of economics and applicable? And so we decided to go with the idea of food trucks. And it's been growing and growing, ever since the journaling, bringing in people to actually speak to the kids. And so that's where the passion really started and the fire got lit. I wasn't lucky enough to have that growing up. We didn't have economics in our own education. And so I figured I didn't want to have that same disservice for these kids. I want to make sure that these kids are ready to go in the future and able to do, apply these things. And so I definitely think that not having it is actually better, because I now have that fire and that passion for it. So.
That's very interesting. As a parent myself and as an educator, probably don't have the knowledge that you have about how to talk to our younger students about economics. Can you share with us a little bit about how parents can start to have these same conversations at home?
So I think there's a plethora of ways that we can all engage our own children, no matter what age that they're at. One of the things we like to do is actually have our daughter have a goal and actually think about what does she need to, how long and how much she needs to get there. And then we talk about weekly, like, did you meet your goal? And if not, what impeded you? Like we talk about opportunity cost, and like, did you decide to go get that coffee instead of saving? Did you want to go buy that little toy instead of saving, get that big item you wanted? So that's one of the things that we do. We make a little chart, and she actually tracks her progress. One of the fun ways that we've actually done was a simulation. We gave her a budget, and she planned her own birthday party.
Oh.
And so we were allowed to, and she obviously went over, and we talked about what do you have to cut, how many people you can bring, and what food and where and stuff like that. This winter, now that she's older and she's entering third grade, we're actually going to give her a budget again, and she gets to pick the presents we buy for other people. And so she gets cataloged, she gets to dive in deep and just, use her math skills too, and reasoning skills. So I'm excited to see how that works out. So there's definitely different ways. I think simulations are definitely a strong way to develop it. And just be mindful of the vocabulary you use with the different ages, and making sure that it's reasonable. And so kids will join you on that journey.
What a great way to not only practice economics, but also the idea of manage your time and project management and all of those other areas as well. So for me, if I had to just think about even just one resource that I could go to find out more about economics, what would you suggest?
I would definitely suggest literature for kids.
Great.
There's definitely good books out there right now. There's a gentleman by the name of Schwartz, and he writes definitely great books for younger ages. And board games. We love board games in my house. We obviously have Monopoly Life. A new one we just actually started was Ice Cream Empire. And so that's a really good game, and they're engaged and talks about resources, money, time, and so there's definitely board games out there for all levels.
So give us one last statement. Why do you think educators should be passionate about the world of economics, and especially for our youngest learners?
I think it's imperative to foster economic skills and financial literacy. We know the economy is always changing. The way our students are now and when they leave us, it's going to be different. And we have to prepare them with the skills and the tool sets to think on their feet and be prepared to adapt. I definitely feel as if we create that financial literacy and that competence, we definitely have those creators, we have those innovators right now, and we just got to make them prepared to handle that economic side and allow them to flourish.
Yeah, I am so appreciative of that. I love my job so much, and one of the reasons I love my job is I get to talk to such incredible educators every day, including you. And I just learned so much from you in this short amount of conversation. I almost feel sorry for my own children. I'm going to go home with lots of projects for them. So as we wrap up, I want to say thank you. And I also want to know, can we just get to know the man outside of the classroom a little bit? How about a couple of rapid fire questions?
Right ahead.
Okay, they'll be easy. Since we're on the cusp of Halloween, favorite Halloween candy?
Definitely Heath bars now.
Oh, Heath bars. And if you had to pick a favorite season of the year, what would it be?
I love fall for the temperatures and the colors.
And the start of the school year,
Yes,
right? Yes,
definitely, definitely.
And tell me why you love being an educator.
Every day is definitely different. I love the fact that we get to help guide and mold the future. I think our time is precious with them, and I just love seeing that ripple effect when they go out into the world and you're able to see what they do.
Yes, I agree. I agree. It's such an honor and a privilege, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Thank you, everybody, for being part of Masterclass.